Λοιπόν, θα είχαμε μια ζωντανή σύνδεση, δεν μας το επιτρέπουν οι συνθήκες, αλλά θα έχουμε την ευκαιρία να δούμε ένα πάρα πολύ σύντομο βίντεο πριν δώσω εγώ την σκητάλη στον συνάδελφο Γιάννη Γιαννακόπουλο και ακολουθήσουν οι τοποθετήσεις από εκπροσώπους αγροτικών συλλόγων, συνεταιρισμών, βιοκαλλιεργητών και οικολογικών οργανώσεων. Θα δούμε ένα βίντεο με την κυρία Sylvie Perrin με θέμα η αυτοκατανάλωση στην υπηρεσία των μικρών επιχειρήσεων. Η κυρία Περίν είναι δικηγόρος με ειδίκευση στην περιβαλλοντική και ενεργειακή μετάβαση, στην ελεύθερη και οικολογική ενεργειακή αυτοκατανάλωση.
Good afternoon. My name is Sylvie Perrin, and I'm delighted to be with you this afternoon. I am a lawyer working in France in the sector of renewable energy. I've been working over 25 years in this sector, so I've seen the development of renewable energy in France. And 8 years ago, I developed a platform in order for all the producer, developer, and consumer to get together and understand how to build the best decarbonized model of renewable energy in France. It is now an association which has over 200 members and is very active in this sector. So thank you very much for inviting me. Delighted to be with you today. I will introduce you to the type of model. I would like to present the type of model which could be developed over the region of Thessalia based on electricity self-consumption over built spaces. The philosophy of the self-consumption model approach is that small is beautiful. When you develop a self-consumption project, it should be adapted to the specific building and mostly to the consumption which is needed by the consumer. Self-consumption has grown steadily in France and has proved over time to be a very beneficial model, which allows one party to produce and consume its own energy, and if such energy is in excess of one's consumption, either to share it with your neighbors or to sell it under market price, so that it is both beneficial for both parties. The sun belongs to everybody and should benefit everyone. This is the principle. So cost of energy has proven unrealistic, quite unrealistic in Greece over time, and has economically shaken small businesses and also individuals. Self-consumption gives a better awareness of one's own consumption and has proven also to enhance energy efficiency. Because you produce your own energy, you change your consumption habits, you avoid waste, it reduces also dependency on the grid. Self-consumption is a disintermediated model which gives transparency of costs and fights also potential corruption which may often arise in the energy sector, unfortunately. Greece has known an impressive development of renewable energy projects. However, mainly large-scale projects with high profit and low-cost transparency. Most REN projects belong to large utility and producers, and control over such projects may change hands. Self-consumption, on the other side, remains in the hand of local consumer, being at the same time local producer of their own electricity. We know that the grid suffers in Greece, like in many other EU countries, from connection difficulties and faces delays for connecting new REN projects, while the EU legislation increases obligation related to social and environmental liability on companies, and also increasing financial pressure on green companies to decarbonize their sites, their assets, their activities. Greek businesses and households pay for electricity consumption 50% more than the average in the European Union. As volatility is high and consumers are not protected from such volatility, like it is the case in France, where we call the bouclier, which has been protecting small companies, even larger companies and individuals. This enhances a social and economical issue. Subsidies which have been given to very small companies are not a solution. Some Greek professional confederation recently have claimed that charity was not needed. There is a need for EU companies to remain competitive and to have visibility on their own energy costs. Thessalia receives high level of solar radiation, suitable for many solar energy applications. The amount of solar radiation that a square meter receives on a flat, meaning horizontal surface in a year is in average about 1,600 to 1,700 kilowatt-hour per square meter per year. This is very high, much higher than in France. Although the Greek grid connector operator plans to upgrade continental interconnection, this is costly and a lengthy process which will slow down the development of renewable energy projects and favor oligopolistic control over the energy market. Therefore, the off-grid options really is a solution that makes sense for Greece and for Thessalia. Other model could be developed also, and I just want to say a brief note to that, although it is not the project I am leading, could be developed in Thessalia, as the plain of Thessaly is one of the most fertile areas of Greece, and agriculture should remain central. Many areas of low agricultural exploitation could benefit from dual-use system, solar and agricultural, on the main assumption that they fully protect land and do not reduce agricultural production. Solar could be a means to enhance the farmers' benefits and production. As a matter of example, a French producer with whom I work quite a lot in France has developed, in cooperation with farmers, PV plants under which ducks and chickens can be protected from the sun during the summertime, and this has reduced significantly early death of ducks and chicken due to the increasing temperature in France, notably in the south of France. These plants usually cover a small surface area of the farm, just enough to fit the farmer's needs. And finally, as such PV projects have reached maturity in technology and reduction of construction and operation costs, private funds are now willing to consider investments in this area. Such private funds could come from the infrastructure investment fund, willing to invest based on future revenues. Crowdfunding, which is not much yet developed in renewable energy in Greece, but such platforms are very active in France, and some of them considering expanding their investment in other EU countries. Banks and financial institutions are now well adapted to project financing such investments. So what remains to be done? Build a model for all mid and mid-cap Thessalian companies, involve local actors, producer, consumer, funding entity, Greek banks, and have probably Thessaly as a model for other regions. Thank you very much for your attention.